My roommate secretly recorded me in my own bedroom, and when I found out why, I honestly wished I never had. Welcome to Story Vault. A few months ago, I moved into a small apartment with a roommate I found online. His name was Daniel. At first he seemed completely normal. Quiet, polite, and mostly kept to himself. We split the rent evenly and rarely had problems. For the first few weeks, everything was fine. We had separate schedules, so sometimes I wouldn't even see him for a day or two. It actually worked out perfectly. But then small things started to happen. One night I came home from work and noticed my bedroom door was slightly open. I clearly remembered closing it before leaving. I figured maybe I forgot, so I didn't think too much about it. A few days later it happened again. This time something felt off. I'm very careful about my room because I keep a lot of personal stuff there. So I asked Daniel if he had gone into my room by mistake. He looked confused and immediately said no. He even laughed and said, "Why would I go into your room?" At the time, I believed him. But the strange things kept happening. Sometimes objects on my desk would be moved slightly. Nothing missing, nothing broken. Just different. That's when I started getting suspicious. One night I decided to test something. Before leaving for work, I placed a small piece of paper between my door and the frame. If someone opened the door, the paper would fall. When I came home later that evening, the paper was on the floor. That's when I started to get nervous. I asked Daniel again if he had gone into my room. This time he seemed annoyed and told me I was being paranoid. He said maybe the door moved because of air pressure or something. But I knew that wasn't true. So the next day, I decided to finally get proof. Before leaving, I set up an old phone in my room and started recording video. Honestly, I expected nothing to happen. But when I came home that night and checked the footage, my stomach dropped. About 2 hours after I left, Daniel walked into my room. He looked around carefully, like he was checking if anyone was there. Then he closed the door behind him. For the next 10 minutes, he slowly went through my desk drawers, opened my closet, and even sat on my bed. I couldn't believe what I was watching. But the worst part hadn't even happened yet. After searching around the room, he reached into his pocket and pulled something out. At first I couldn't tell what it was. Then he placed it on the bookshelf, facing my bed. It was a camera. A hidden camera. I just stared at the screen in complete shock. He adjusted the angle carefully, and then walked out of my room like nothing happened. I didn't sleep at all that night. The next morning I confronted him immediately. At first he denied everything. But when I showed him the video, his face completely changed. He didn't even try to explain. He just grabbed his bag and left the apartment. I reported everything to the landlord and eventually to the police. They later confirmed that the camera had been recording for several days. To this day, I still don't know exactly what he planned to do with those recordings. And honestly, I'm not sure I want to know. What I do know is that trusting a random roommate I met online was the biggest mistake I've ever made. So if you ever feel like something strange is happening where you live, trust your instincts. Sometimes paranoia isn't paranoia at all. And that's the story. Have you ever had a creepy or disturbing experience with a roommate or neighbor? If you have, share it in the comments. I read them all, and some of the craziest ones might even appear in future videos. And if you enjoy stories like this, make sure to subscribe to Story Vault for more unbelievable stories from around the internet.